In this video, we're going to look at taking a radical expression and expressing it as a rational exponent. And so really what that means is we want to get rid of the radical or the square root sign or cube root sign or whatever the root is, and we write it instead as just the base raised to some fractional exponent. So let's look at the first one. We have the square root of x to the 25 power. So whenever you're writing a radical expression as a rational exponent, what you want to do is you want to just write whatever your base is, in this case x, and then you want to go ahead and put a fraction line in the area that you would have an exponent. Whatever you're raising the x to, you want to write that number in the numerator of that fraction. So we have the square root of x to the 25, so we're raising x to the 25th power, so that goes in the numerator. In the denominator, that's where you would put whatever root it is you're taking. So here we're taking the square root, so you may know that there's always an understood 2 right there with the square root. And so you just copy that 2 down into the denominator of our fractional exponent. And that's your answer. So the square root of x to the 25th power is the same thing as x to the 25 over 2 power. Now let's compare and contrast that to our second example, which is the cubed root of x to the 17. So again, the first step, let's just go ahead and draw an x and put a fraction line in the area where the exponent would be. Now we're raising x to the 17 power. So the 17 goes in the numerator, and we're taking the cubed root. So that 3, it's written in this case, since it's the cubed root, is going to go in the denominator. And so our answer for the second example is x to the 17 over 3 power. So the main thing to remember here is anytime you have a square root, you have to remember that a 2 goes there, written in red over there in the first example. And that's always going to be what goes in your denominator. But if you're taking any other root, like the third root or the fourth root or the fifth root, that number is always going to be written right above the little radical where the 3 is. So you won't have to remember it in those examples.